This is day 243 of the Zohar Pshat, and on the top of Chav Zayin on the base, the first line. Vayitzav Hashem Elokim, HaKadosh Baruch commanded Adam, and of course telling him the command to not eat from the Eitz Hadas. But the Zohar Kodesh finds in this pasuk the commands of Adam Rishon on Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayos, and Shvichus Dami, and Gilui Arayos. Commands on the big three. It says Vayitzav Hashem Elokim HaKomer HaKmua Leis Tavel Avodah Zarah. This command is a prohibition against Avodah Zarah. The mitamon Elohim achirim. In other words, I'm Hashem Elohim. This Kadosh Baruch says, and so Kadosh Baruch says, don't worship other gods. I don't know why Derech Emes says Hema Klipos Hachitzonius Samol v'Koychosav. I guess he means there was no actual other gods. So was a reference here? Much of a reference is other koichos, which did exist. Okay, but in any event, I'm not trying to come on to it. He's telling him later on, people are going to make mistakes. It's also to make those mistakes, like Dor Enosh they made later on to worship Avodah Zarah. I guess that he's afraid that that's what Derech Emes means, because Dor Enosh, Avodah Zarah, was worshiping the intermediaries. So in any event, view b'kaved. The Chet Avodah Zarah is linked in the physical body to the liver. The minah tichbar ha'avodah, right? It says tichbar ha'avodah. The Paro says when Moshe and Aaron come to the man freedom, it says tichbar ha'avodah. The kaved represents heaviness, and heaviness represents also respect, right? Kaved. That's something which is when you give something kaved, you give it weight, you give it respect. So the kaved evidently is a very heavy organ, and therefore it represents something where you're respecting something, but in a very negative way. The Avodah Zarah. It's the avodah. What's a heavy avodah? Something which is a foreign avodah to a person is avodah zarah, literally. Right? Avodah zarah, right? A foreign something which is foreign to him is coveted on him, right? People find pleasure, satisfaction, meaning in work which is appropriate for them. Avodah zarah is something which is zar to them, and it's coveted on them. So this is giving covered to Elohim Achirim. The number of plays on the word here is a form of avodah, and it's covered in the sense that it is zarah. It's foreign, inappropriate, and ultimately should not be fulfilling to a person as well. It's very similar to the idea which you say by avodas parech, according to the opinion that Chazal that meant that you gave the men's work to the women and women's work to the men. What was so onerous about that? What was so difficult about that? Because it was avodah zarah. It was foreign to that person, and therefore, v'akavi koes. The liver is associated with kas, with anger, evidently because it's kulo dam, so blood. And blood obviously represents violence. So therefore, there is this idea of anger associated with the humors which the Greeks had, which very similar to the four elements. So in any event, the humors which are associated with different biles, different aspects of the body, different fluids in the body. So the kaved is koes. It has anger. And that's also related. Because we know the Chazal tell us, anybody gets angry, it's as if they worship Avodah Zarah because they're worshiping another agenda, which is the agenda of their anger, or their agenda causes them anger. So they were really maminim. They would say, everything Kodesh Baruch does is for good, right? So therefore, if they're not saying that, so then they're denying associated Kodesh Baruch Avodah Zarah. So dovei tzavodam. So the actually it's probably going on the next line. But anyway, so the first thing is that it's a commandment against anger. Implicitly, evidently, a commandment also against Avodah Zarah. Implicitly, also evidently, a commandment against anger. and both of them associated with the kaved, which is heavy and difficult, and represents anger as well. Okay, the next command is spilling blood, which is obviously since the I shouldn't say obvious. Take that back. Like it says, but the person who spills blood, his blood should be spilled, and what the reference here is Bada Aitzav Al Ha'adam, right? So Hashem Elokim command on man, Ba'adam Damay Shafech. That's referring to the issue of Shvichus Damim. V'da Mara, and that's the bile. Charvan Malachamavis. It says that it's the sword Malachamavis says Malachamavis on his sword has a certain type of bile, which whatever it means, which causes the death of a person, causes a person also the body to become rancid, and so on and so forth. So the it says saw at the end of life, it's maraka kalano, it's bitter, like the wormwood. Chada sharp, like the sword, which is the double-edged sword. But then the next word, to say dog Arias. That's Gilead Arias. But I think we're going to leave Gilead Arias for next time because it gets a little elaborate. Okay.